Hi there, everyone. I'm XS. That's little x, little s, which stands for extra sweet, because that's what I am. I'm a Puppy-Sensei, and in addition to this, I make Japanese language lessons to help you level up your abilities. Welcome to my Apawcalypse. This series is intended to teach you about Pathfinder 2e, which is my favorite gaming system, and also to spotlight other content creators and the awesome work that they are doing. And speaking of which, I guess we can go ahead and introduce my awesome, amazing guest for this week. So, hi there, Gone with Law. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. I'm so
That's
glad I
so
could be here.
wonderful. Yes, I'm so glad to have you. I feel like we've been planning this for a long time, and it's just taken time for everything to get like all smoothly worked together. And I'm glad that it's
Hmm.
finally worked out, and we can finally be together for this.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a while. I mean, life gets in the way. We're busy with work and everything else, but I'm glad we finally managed to have the stars align.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so I don't know. The metaphor of that, the stars aligning, is so important. I think because sometimes it just feels like I don't know if this is ever going to work out, and then it does, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Everything is perfect in the universe. It just works.
Hmm.
Yeah. So before we get started, I think I'd like to give you some time to talk a little bit about yourself and what you do, and the awesome content that you create.
All right, well, thanks for having me. I'm Gone with Law, but you can just call me Law, anyone out there watching. I'm a casual V streamer. I'm a fledgling tabletop gaming enthusiast. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't done much content like out there in
Mm-hmm.
tabletop gaming. Really, it's been miscellaneous Nintendo and Steam streaming. You know how it is on Twitch.
Of
Um,
course.
I have plans to expand and do more with my Twitch channel, but really, I'm not in it to make a career out of streaming. I'm just doing this to share experiences that I love and enjoy and just go through it with others.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love that we're going to get the opportunity today to look at some Pathfinder stuff, to hang out, to do some cool just
Hmm.
tabletop things. That's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have fun.
Hmm. That's what you
Mm.
promised.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It'll definitely be fun and it won't be stressful and it won't be anything else.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
Of course not. It's going to be so wonderful. Um, okay, so I want to prep you for exactly what's going to happen here. So the first thing that we're
Sure.
going to do is we're going to
Hmm.
put you through character creation.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that together. Um, we will actually. I've gamified this a little bit, so I've made
Ooh.
it feel a little bit more like a video game. That's kind of the intent. Um, Pathfinder is not a game that is designed to be played one player, especially 2e. Um, so I don't know how much you know about the history of Pathfinder, but Pathfinder 1e was kind of affectionately known as like Excel spreadsheet the game, right? It was very crunchy. There were a lot of numbers. It was a lot of fun because numbers mean that there's lots of different stuff that you can do with your character.
Hmm.
With 2e, they streamlined things a whole lot. But in streamlining it, one of the things that they did is they really pushed the idea that you need a healer, you need a tank, you need DPS. I think the traditional Pathfinder team or squad or party, if you want to
Hmm.
use the vernacular of actual like D&D worlds, um, it does feel like putting together a raiding party, you
Okay.
know,
Hmm.
and this is not that. Pathfinder was never designed to be played this way. And that's okay because that's what we're going to do. And so in this gauntlet, it's just you and me. We're going to go through this together. Um, I will, I'll tell you up front, it's not going to be easy, but the idea here is that you survive as long as you possibly can. And I'm going to be proud of
Okay.
you no matter how long you survive. So,
So yeah, I'm sure the viewers watching the video will look at the timestamp like, man, this guy, I don't know.
yeah, if this is a 15-minute episode, then that doesn't bode well for how you did in the first couple combats.
If it's 15 minutes, I died in character creation.
You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's a mechanic that I might add. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about
Oh
that. I
no.
might add that mechanic. The ability to fail in character creation. That sounds like fun.
Critical failure.
I rolled a 1 in making my character. How did this happen? Yeah. So we're gonna have a good time. So let's
Sure.
yeah. We are using Foundry VTT for this. I should say that I'm not sponsored by Foundry VTT. I just happen to love what they've put out. It's a wonderful program that is incredibly healthy. Healthy is not the word that I was looking for there. It's not healthy. I guess maybe mentally it allows me to keep things together. So in that respect, maybe it's healthy.
Does anyone mentally healthy play tabletop games? I'm not sure.
I think two people. I think there
Two
are
people
two people
in the
who
entire
are.
world.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I have this story that I like to tell sometimes. I was for a little while I lived in Slovakia. That's a
Oh
long
wow.
story and I won't get into why that happened. Um but it was like midnight and near where I was living on this campus I was teaching classes. Um there was a tea shop that I loved going to
Ooh.
and I would go there very frequently. And one day it's super late, and they were closed, and my heart is broken because I really wanted tea, and I was like up late studying for exams and things, and couldn't get my tea. And so I opened up my phone and I looked, and I realized there was another tea shop that wasn't the one that I really liked, but it was just not very far. And I thought, well, I'm just
Sure.
gonna walk over there, right? No big
Sure.
deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I walked in, and there were a group of college students playing the Russian version of D&D. By which I mean not like the Russian version, but they were playing D&D, but it just happened to be in Russian.
Huh.
And I ended up playing with them. They were really nice people, but I could barely keep up with my fledgling Russian. But
Place Russian, Japanese. I'm pretty sure I had a stream I watched of yours where you spoke a little bit of Chinese. You are much more talented. Not that I thought you were untalented. You're much more lingually talented than I thought you were.
I mean, I do have a degree in linguistics, but like if I'm being honest, I speak English pretty well. I speak
Hmm.
Japanese okay. Russian and Chinese I speak very badly. I can put sentences together and get where I need to go in a taxi. That's about it.
Yeah,
But
that's better than me.
yeah, I love language, you know. I'm a language nerd and I'm also a Pathfinder nerd, so
Hmm.
yes. All right. Well, I think why don't we just dive in? Let's get into it.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's get your character made and then we will put you through this amazing apocalypse. All right. So, the way this is going to work, we have some options for your character. So, you're going to see this little card flip system that we have, and
Yes.
as we flip that, we'll look at your possible character options. So, if you want to take a look at that together with me, we will just look here at
Hmm.
your ancestries, which are the uh, Pathfinder's version of races. It looks to me like your options are automaton, dwarf, and human.
You know, I've never done a non-biological character. Um, Automaton sounds incredibly interesting. Um, I didn't mention this yet, but my current experience with tabletop RPGs,
Mm-hmm.
I've never done Pathfinder before. My only experience is with D&D 5e.
Yeah.
I'm 2.5 years into a campaign over there. I play an artificer, so
Ooh.
kind of like the opposite side of artifice, where no, you're not creating, you are the creation. That sounds interesting to me. And I could see
Yeah.
some lore implications with just the nature of what we're doing here. Um, yeah, I think automaton. I'm going to go for that. That's interesting. That's interesting.
I love that. I love that. I'm really, really excited. Automaton sounds absolutely amazing. And I think based on the setting that we're in, you know,
Hmm.
I think that you're gonna find a lot of really cool things going on here. I may as well go ahead and mention this as well, since we're in this kind of phase. Um,
Hmm.
Once we get into this, there is lore. There's overarching lore in the world that I'm putting you in. There's a
Hmm.
reason for everything that I do, but nobody yet has poked any holes in it. So,
Hmm.
as an automaton, I would say well, I want to say keep your eyes open, but maybe keep your servos on, and we'll see if you come across anything that nobody else has picked up on yet. But I'm excited about
Okay.
this. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pick your class. And similarly, we're going to have a little thing that you can take a look at some more card flips so that we can
Hmm.
randomize that as well. So it looks like that's ready for us now. And let's just take a look at what your class options are.
I'm ready.
I am also ready. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see what this is. All right. We have
Hmm.
Inventor, Ranger, and Wizard. Fascinating. Hmm.
An automaton that could be an inventor themselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
ranger, or wizard.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I am intrigued by the automaton inventor combination,
Mm-hmm.
in truth, I already have some personal experience with that as an artificer armorer in my D&D campaign.
Yeah.
So I would want to branch out a little bit into a role that I normally wouldn't be in.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go ranger.
Okay. Okay. I love that. I love that. An automaton ranger. Um,
Hmm.
I think, as I said earlier, in terms of like lore and things like that, I think feel free to think about your character, think about why you're a ranger, to think
Hmm.
about why these things make sense to you. I give you free reign to think about your backstory and things of that nature, because that to me is super, super fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've already got some ideas brewing, but it might have to be kind of adapted to the environment I'm throwing myself into,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. All right. The final stage of this, our last little choice here, I'm going to give you three options for your chosen or favored weapon. Now, I
Hmm.
want to say before we take a look at these that this isn't really a mechanic in Pathfinder. So you're not really going to gain any kind of benefit for this. Really, what you're selecting is just the weapon that you start with. And that's more just having to do with the fact that I think this is fun more than anything else. So,
Sure.
so let's look at your weapon choices together. I think that's available for us here. Um, we can take a look at your random selections here. You will be getting either a longbow, an axe, or a quarterstaff.
Boy, all of those would be fantastic for a ranger.
Yep, absolutely.
So really, it boils down to if it would be the close combat or the range combat.
Mm-hmm.
I think a range in particular, golly, I so wish I can have both and just have a longbow and an axe. If I'm lucky, maybe I find another weapon around. I think I
Perhaps.
am, if I'm thinking practically here,
Mm-hmm.
if I get the longbow, I'm hoping I get arrows alongside it.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be counting your arrows. I promise you that. That's one thing in games. I tend not to count arrows, and I tend not to weigh you down with coins because I think that those little minutia are just meaningless. So why don't we say if you choose longbow, we're gonna give you basically infinite ammo.
Okay, I like the sound of infinite ammo. Let's go with the longbow.
All right, cool. Um,
I need
and
as much
feel
help as I'm going to get with this.
yeah. Feel free as well to think about that longbow. Maybe that's actually part of your construct. Maybe the
Hmm.
longbow, you would still need to mechanically draw it, but maybe
Yeah.
that's like built into your systems somehow. I think that could be really, really cool.
Hmm.
Awesome. All right, so it looks like you're going to be an automaton, ranger, wielding some kind of longbow. And we're going to get some kind of behind the scenes stuff taken care of for you real quick and take a very quick, very short break. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Hi there, students. Or, at least, I'm hoping you'll become my students. My friends call me XS. That's little x, little s, which stands for extra sweet, 'cause that's what I am. But I'm also a Puppy-Sensei, and I teach free, easy to follow Japanese lessons on YouTube to help my viewers level up their linguistic skills. There are no boring textbooks or stressing about bad grades here. It's just you and me having a blast while you learn Japanese at your own pace. And we're going to have a great time along the way. I hope to see you in my classroom every Wednesday and Friday for my weekly grammar drops and lesson videos. And of course, my daily words of the day where I teach you a specific word, including kanji and kanji compounds, so that every single day you can have some new Japanese language content to look forward to. I also offer private tutoring with independent, one-on-one lessons that are individually geared to your needs, your skill level, and your goals within the Japanese language. Until then, mata ne. And welcome back. All right, so your character's all set. We've taken a look at your character sheet a little bit. If you open up your character sheet, is there anything on there that strikes you that you want to talk about or ask any questions about before we go into exploration?
Let's see. I'm going through here. I'm looking at the actions. Those make
Sure.
sense to me. Some of them overlap with prior experience I have with
Good.
D&D 5e.
Yep.
My inventory, it's empty. I know I'm going to be getting stuff later
Yep.
on.
Yep.
I'm looking at my core skills. There's mostly overlap with D&D. I might have to ask a question or two. Like
Sure. Yeah.
occultism is not a part of D&D, and same with society.
Right.
I'm not sure how often
Yes.
those will come up or not, but that's stuff that is
Probably not a
kind of
lot.
new to me. Mhm.
Yeah, probably not a whole lot, but basically, occultism is for things that are occult based, right?
Mhm.
Anything that is weird and icky and weird and odd, versus arcana, which is definitely like this is magical, versus
Right.
this is like, demons and that kind of thing would be occultism.
Gotcha. The
Yeah.
less demons, the better. So,
Trying to think. I
mm.
don't think I have any demons planned for you today, except for my sleep demon. Um, but hopefully
To
that
be
won't
fair, the
show up.
most fun demons are the unplanned ones.
It's
So,
true. That's true. Society really is like, it's not really like sense motive, but it's more like what is this society like, and
mhm.
how would I behave in this situation. So it's almost like trying to blend in urban areas and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
so
Well, given my kind of planned background
sure.
for my automaton here, I think the +0 makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I think all of these things make good sense to me
Mhm.
based on the very little that I know about who your character is. So yeah, good. I will say, as a class that is not necessarily a spellcasting class, your options are somewhat limited, and so in combat, I would spend more time thinking about positioning. Where's a
Mhm.
good spot for you to take position? Where can you gain some kind of cover? Anything like that is going to be important for you. Otherwise, mostly you're just going to be attack. um, Now, are you aware of the thing that we call the map penalty or the multi attack penalty?
I've heard about this, but I am not fully aware of the mechanics.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. So, with something like your strikes, right? If you were going to be doing a strike, you would have three different values. And when I look at your unarmed strike, I see a plus 14, and then a plus 10, and then a plus 6. And the way that basically works is the first time you make an attack in a turn, since you have three actions per turn, the
Mhm.
first time you have a pretty good chance to hit. You got a plus 14 with an unarmed attack. That's really great. The second time you would use that same action, anything with the attack trait, if you would do that again, you take the map, which is the multi attack penalty. And so it's a little
Okay.
bit harder for you to hit the second time and a little bit harder for you to hit the third time. Um, and obviously, that also means that since you can critically fail in Pathfinder without necessarily rolling just a one on the die,
Mhm.
it can be very risky to take that third attack. Taking the first, taking the second might be a good idea. Taking the third, you could be running the risk that you end up with a critical fail, and you want to be careful about that. So positioning is important.
Now, just to clarify, I believe I know the answer, but I just want to explicitly confirm.
Sure.
The multi-attack penalty,
Mm-hmm.
if I were to take an action like hunt prey first,
Mm-hmm.
I don't incur that penalty since that's not an attack yet.
That's right.
Right?
That's
Okay.
right. So if your first action on your turn is hunt prey, then your second action is your first attack. And since that's the first attack in the turn, you wouldn't incur that penalty until you attacked again, or anything with that attack trait. So since hunt prey doesn't have that attack trait, you're fine. Double shot. I don't think double shot has. Oh no,
It
no,
kind
no.
of
It
has
says
a built-in penalty.
Yeah, it has the built-in penalty, so both attacks count to your multiple attack penalty. Yeah, yeah. So interesting stuff, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. Any other questions?
No, not yet.
Okay, perfect. Then let's dive in here, and we'll get into the magic a little bit. So I'm gonna paint a scene for you. You wake up in a recessed area. Around you, on all four sides, there are stairs that lead out, I would say between 4 and 6 feet, that you are buried in some area. You don't recognize where you are, but you're on cold, hard floor of some kind. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Looking around, there are a couple things that I'm going to point out to you first. First thing that you notice is that you are awash with this kind of rainbow light that seems to be coming from your feet. Not from your feet, but coming from the direction of your feet, right?
Sure.
So if you're laying down, then if you were to look down, you would see this rainbow light that washes over you. And the other thing that you notice quite quickly is that there is a little floating orb with little automaton wings. And it's floating around you, and every once in a while, it'll just stop. And it seems to just whir and hone in on you. And maybe since you yourself are an automaton, you realize that it's just looking at you and pondering and kind of wondering what it is that you might do next.
The automaton. I'm not sure if the automaton has a name or not,
Yeah.
but just the first thought that it has, and this perhaps gives a little bit of insight into what I have envisioned for this character.
Sure.
It just looks at this little flying orb and says to itself, "You're not one of Mother's creations."
Oh, I love that.
Not
I
with
think-
any like negativity, just curiosity and confusion.
Yeah. I think this little orb flying on its little almost like dragonfly wings that are just fluttering, it'll just stop in that moment as it hears you, and it just kind of like turns right to you with this sudden shock. And it doesn't say anything, but for a moment you almost get the sense that it wasn't prepared for you to address it directly. It just almost seems surprised.
The automaton, it lifts up an arm, and I want to take this moment to kind of describe what I have in mind for the aesthetics
Absolutely.
of this.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure. Can the viewers at home see the name, the moniker, Rusty Adventurer?
They should be able to see that, yes.
Okay, yeah. So, I want you at home to imagine. At first glance, perhaps if you're like across a room, if the room's dark, it would just be this rusty, dirty, moss-covered looking robot, right? But as you approach closer, perhaps if you were in the room with this automaton, able to like put your hand on its chest and wipe away some of the moss and grime. Yes, it's rusted, but you could tell that there's this intricate, almost leaf-like carving that has been ingrained in its metal carapace, right? And as you wipe away the grime, it's clearly up and active, and not like, sometimes when you see like an old robot, it's like, Rusty can't move. It's moving just fine still. And underneath just this age that's covered it are these thin, blue, vein-like glowing lights that are just dully pulsing, going down its arms and its chest and its neck up to a horizontal, like, visor. Think almost like Cyclops from X-Men, got like the horizontal view. It would kind of imply that the automaton has just a very wide field of view, right? It kind of goes in line with what its range or capacity would be. How I envision this automaton, it was created for a purpose. It was created to watch over its home by a figure that it knows was its mother.
Yeah.
But it has been doing this for so long, since hundreds plus years ago, maybe. It doesn't even remember why it was given this mission, nor the face of its quote-unquote mother.
Yeah.
In its heart, in its soul, if you want to call it that, it doesn't have much desire, nor even like fear or anything, like, where am I? Right now, it's just thinking, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Where is this?
Yeah.
But I have something I gotta do, so I'm going to figure out what this is and what the best, easiest way to get back home to protect this little forest enclave area, something very isolated, something that's really no humans or even elves would be nearby, just itself in nature.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Literally gave me chills. So awesome. Great. Well, I'm giving it over to you. As you kind of look around this area and you really start to take it in, you're noticing that the orb is still kind of tentatively watching you, wondering what you're going to do. And I'll say that this glow, this rainbow glow, you're going to be able to notice that that's coming from some kind of circular portal to the south of you. I would describe this as a large disc. And in the center of the disc is some kind of magical aura. And you're probably wise enough to know that that's magical, and it's probably some kind of gate that probably takes you somewhere. There are also a couple doors. So there's a door to your right and your left at the end of the little hall, and there's another door exactly opposite the portal. Those doors are closed, and there are also 2 chests in this room. So I leave it up to you what you would like to do next.
Well, for the sake of having a name, I'm just going to call them Rusty.
Sure. Love it.
So Rusty is going to get up. They've already established that the little flying automaton with its dragonfly wings, that's not an active threat right now. Okay. So it's kind of acknowledged it, but is ignoring it for the time being. And instead is going to get up and walk towards the source of this light to investigate it and see what exactly it is.
Okay. Yeah. I think you should have movement now with your character. And I think you can also use the arrow keys if you want, or just yeah, good. You can also click and drag, also easy. But yeah, as you approach this portal, a couple things are going to happen. First, as you walk toward the portal, you kind of feel, I guess, in your servos, you get this sense that you're supposed to go through there, but also you're not. There's this kind of foreboding, kind of darkness that's kind of like, that is a one-way trip. You don't know why you know that. You don't know why you feel this way, but you feel really confident that once you make the decision to go through there, you don't think that whatever's on the other side is going to be able to bring you back. You do see some carvings around, There are a couple glyphs, but you can't really read them and you can't really make them out. They seem very, very, very old and worn out, almost as if this thing has been here for untold numbers of generations. And as you're doing this, this orb gets really close to you, and you can almost sense that it's like, no. It doesn't say anything. It may beep or put out like a red light, and that red light might flash at you. That's kind of like, no, don't do that.
Okay. Rusty takes a step back and sees the two treasure chests. Goes for the one on the left first.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like walks up. Rusty has no need for treasure or anything here. It has truly no worldly desires other than the desire to go back home.
Sure.
But there still is an innate curiosity and consciousness as to what this environment is, so it's going to take its time to just inspect and open and see what's around that can give clues as to how it even ended up here in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think opening up that chest inside, you're going to find a couple weapons. I think you'll find a pretty good longbow and also a little dagger, just in case you need to take care of yourself in that regard. In order to grab these things, if you want, you can just grab them and drag them right under your character sheet, and it should just go right on your character sheet.
Ah, I see here. Okay, let me, do I have to open up the inventory first and then drag into that?
Yeah, you'll just double click on the inventory.
Okay.
And then you don't necessarily have to have the inventory tab of your character sheet open, but I think if you just drag it on the inventory, yeah.
Got
Cool.
it. Okay, cool.
Excellent. And that's all that's in that chest.
Yeah, Rusty, as it picks up the longbow, there is a familiarity to it. Normally, as it would go on its patrols through this wilderness, it would have a bow in hand. It doesn't know exactly, again, the memories are so far long gone, but the most it can gather, it was its mother trained it with the weaponry that she was familiar with.
Yeah.
So the longbow, he does like a little practice kind of a draw of an arrow with it. Doesn't let loose the arrow, but just test it for its strength.
Yeah.
It feels nice. It feels natural.
Good.
And then the dagger, holds it in the other hand. Maybe does a little bit of a stylistic flourish. Not anything that's purposely show-offy, but just as an automaton, there's dexterity that human and biological fingers don't necessarily have. So when the automaton hand is playing around with the dagger going through its fingers and whatnot, it's perhaps a bit more technical and I dare say acrobatic than the normal person would be able to do. But it's not doing any fancy tricks. It's just like, interesting, kind of like inspecting it real quickly.
Yeah. Awesome.
It turns around and looks at the next chest. Ooh, hold on. I think I'm clicking dragging more than one. Yep, up. How do I unclick? How do I help?
You might, if you're looking at the top left, you might need to make sure that you're clicking only the token controls.
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's all right.
I selected. It was trying to make me drag the treasure chest with me, and I'm just imagining like Rusty is like, interesting, and like somehow some like something got caught in the chest, trying to like yank its arm out.
I like that.
Okay, let's try this instead. Oh, here we go.
Good. All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think that little orb has been just kind of like dancing around that chest, like this one next, this one next, this one next.
All right, opening up, and I see the chainmail and the healing potion.
Yep, absolutely. Those are available for you to take as well. May be needed. Very good.
Okay, so just practicality-wise, do I need to actively equip these here, or do I just have them?
Yes, you will need to equip them in your inventory. So
inventory?
to equip the armor, you're just going to click that little looks like a shirt. I think all of them, you'll just click the shirt. So you'll have to pick one of the weapons to be on at any given time, and then if you want to change which one you have active, you'll have to do that. I think the longbow is a two-handed weapon, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it would be, for now, given the small room, the close quarters, the automaton probably has the dagger out right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
If it sees a more open area, perhaps, or sees like a threat's going to be like coming by, it'll put away the dagger, bring out the longbow.
Makes
but
perfect sense.
Since it seems to be alone, it's holding the more like practical, immediately useful in the hand tool.
That's great. Perfect. All right. So it's up to you next. What do you want to do? The orb is just carefully watching you.
I think at this stage, Rusty is going to encircle the room, just kind of inspect the walls, maybe trace its just metallic fingers along just whatever the material is on the walls, and look at the doors along the way, not opening them, but just inspecting them to see, do they have a handle that opens? Is it just something that pushes, or what are these doors that he's walking past, it's walking past?
Yeah, they do have little handles. They're relatively simple. They seem like relatively simple doors. You do notice that there are no windows at all, and that strikes you as a little bit odd. So this is a fully enclosed room. No views of the outside whatsoever, but yeah, those three doors are available with relatively rudimentary handles, and they are just simple wooden doors that are a little bit stark in comparison to the like concrete of the rest of this space.
Well, as Rusty goes through and kind of looks at the individual doors, he's gone along in a circle along the room, completely arbitrarily, decides, well, one of these doors has to be an exit.
Sure.
Start with the one closest.
Okay, great. So I think we can open that door. You should be able to get through. I think you have to drag your way through. And I think the Watcher is going to follow you. And as you enter this little room, it's not very big at all. The only thing that's in this room is a fireplace that's putting off some kind of just warm, relatively natural light. And you feel a sense of calm here. That this is a place where you could stay and rest and be warmed. Now, there's one other thing that I'm going to point out, and that's that the fireplace has a little ledge. And on that ledge, there's actually a little tiny figure. It's about the size of what you would consider in real life like a D&D mini, right?
Okay.
And it looks like an animal of some kind, or a creature. It's bipedal, and it kind of looks like a gnoll, but it also seems to have rabbit ears. It's dressed up a bit like a sorcerer.
Rusty reaches out and takes it in its hand to inspect more closely.
Sure. The orb will get very close to you, and it puts that red light out again, like it's looking at you very, very carefully. But you reach out and you look at that. It's well made. It's very intricate. While it is roughly the size of a D&D mini, it is not a D&D mini. This is not plastic. It is made of some kind of unknown material that you can't quite figure out. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it's very sturdy. Probably unbreakable, despite the fact that it has little tiny itty bitty edges. This just little figurine of a sorcerer.
Rusty inspects it with curiosity and kind of looks back up to the floating orb. As an automaton, it did pick up just the non-technical term would be the vibe check. Like, okay, there's cautiousness involved here.
Yep.
Wondering if there's any use for this or not.
I think the vibe that you get from the orb is actually anxiety, which is weird, but it does seem anxious that you have this in your hand.
Rusty opts to put the figure back above the fireplace, noting that this seems to be in some way, shape, or form somewhere safe, maybe, and could come back here if it's needed for something.
Yeah. And as soon as you put it back, the orb seems to totally relax. That little red light turns off, and it goes back to just a soft little glow, and he just kind of wanders away. Still watching you really intently, but not doing anything else.
So Rusty's going to go ahead and make its way over to the far end
Sure.
of here,
Sure.
opting to save the door across from this glowing portal for last.
Okay. Entering this room, you see a room that is almost exactly identical to the room that you just came from, with just one tiny, itty-bitty little omission. You see a very similar fireplace, giving off a very similar warm glow, but there's nothing on top of the mantle here.
Rusty just looks around, some passing curiosity. Can I do like an investigation check to see if there's anything else that could remotely be different in this room?
Absolutely.
Or perhaps even a sign that maybe there was a figure there, but maybe there's like dust or something that shows that it was moved away.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to roll a perception check for that. So in your skills, not in your skills, in your, what is it called? It's under perception. So it's under your attributes. The at the top, you should have a bar that says attributes, and there you have perception. You can.
Oh, I can't. There's no active encounter, so I can't roll that.
Well, that's weird. Is it?
I could get one of my IRL D20 and just give you the result if you trust me on that.
I just think that's odd, because it should be not rolling for perception. It should be rolling. Perception also counts for initiative. Yeah. Yeah, it's perception.
I see.
Perception.
I see. There we go. Okay, I saw the big glowing purple, and yes. Big purple button. Click, click, click.
Yes. Sorry about that. So there should be perception under your attributes, and you can just click on that, and it'll give you a thing that says perception check, and everything on that should just be normal, I think.
Okay. I am going to hit perception.
Cool.
See? Oh, there's another screen here. Okay. Sorry, folks. I'm familiarizing myself with Foundry here.
Yes, of course.
I'm just going to go ahead and hit roll, see what pops up.
All right. Well, it looks to me like you got a 23. I think you might be able to see that in the chat log.
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. 23 is really, really good. So with a 23, I'm going to tell you that you don't see any signs on the kind of like alcove there that there was ever anything there. There's no dust that's been disturbed or anything like that. This room hasn't been touched. Nothing has been in here. And you do notice one thing that's a little bit off for you. You're an automaton. And as an automaton, you're able to kind of detect micro changes that maybe normal eyes wouldn't pick up on. And as you're watching these logs burn, you're noticing that they're actually not really burning. There's fire there, but the logs aren't decomposing the way you would expect they would. You don't think that a normal person would probably pick up on this, but because you're looking at it, and maybe because you have this connection to nature, or because you're just well aware of these things, you don't see the log going away. The fire just continues to burn, and you imagine it probably always will.
With this knowledge, would I be able to retrospectively consider if the opposite fire was kind of the same quality, thinking, hey, this is the same as the other one? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be exactly the same. That this does seem to be wood. It does seem to be real, it's real fire. All of these things are physical, and yet it's just not. It's almost as if time is frozen.
Rusty takes note of that
Okay.
and opts to back out of the room for now.
Yep.
Just continuing to sate their curiosity and realizing that there's only one area left to explore before checking out this mysterious portal to the south here. Rusty's going to go to this door here.
Okay, great. Is it not letting you through? Oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Through that door, there's just a tiny itty bitty little hallway with nothing in there, and just another door.
Rusty opts to inspect this door before opening this one.
Yeah. You don't sense anything. There's no heat coming through the door. One of the things that you notice is that there's no light source in this room, and yet you are seeing as if you were seeing no problem. You're not
Rusty
quite
opts
sure.
to.
Go ahead.
No, okay. Rusty opts to open this next door.
Okay, great. Perfect. Moving through the door, you see a longer hallway. You do see on the floor of this hallway that maybe at one point there were rugs or carpets here, but now it's just cold concrete. On either side, at the end of both sides of this hallway, there's yet another door.
Rusty is right-handed, we're going to say, so we're going to start with the right.
Okay. The little orb seems to just go before you, as if knowing where you're going to go somehow. You enter this room, and there's a bed there. It's warm and inviting, and it looks well made, like it hasn't been disturbed. The orb kind of plants itself back in the corner of the room, just kind of floats there, watches you, little curious little ticks every once in a while from one side to the other.
Is it only the bed? Is there any other signs of someone having lived in here?
No, that's it. It's only the bed, and the bed seems like it's relatively undisturbed and unslept in.
Rusty notes this place is another, perhaps safe area, and seeing nothing else, opts to leave the room and check out the other side.
Yeah. I think as you go down this hallway, for the first time you notice that the orb doesn't follow you. Just hangs back and watches you leave down the hallway.
Rusty goes back.
Okay.
Rusty goes back, and not in any sort of like... It definitely... How should I put this? Rusty has been around enough, creatures, natural things, etc., that it knows how to move and interact and engage with hesitant creatures, And I can envision Rusty walking up and to this orb, just gently lifting up like one finger, as if like almost beckoning it to like land on its finger, as a bird or a small butterfly would.
Yeah. I think it will at first jump back. As you hold out your hand and beckon for it, it leaps back as if almost feeling like in danger. And then as you kind of calmly wait there, rather than taking your hand, it's going to move forward again, and it seems to start getting in really close and taking in some of your details. Never lands, but I think it's going to get very close to your hand and then kind of look up through your hand, up at your kind of automaton face kind of area. And then it'll sort of spin around you until it's behind you. You almost get the sense that it's just trying to maybe figure you out or just look at you or take in all of your details. And then it'll start blinking different colors, and it starts moving toward the door and then moving back. Moving toward the door and then moving back. Toward the door, moving back.
Rusty makes its way towards the other door, and Rusty has enough respect built in. Not sure if it's coding or just whatever is infusing, if you want to call it a soul, to certainly not force this creature to do anything, but it's trying to get a vibe for this creature, if this creature is stuck here or if it's also its home, and wants to respect it still,
Sure.
especially as a fellow creation of
Yeah.
something or someone. So Rusty calmly, slowly works its way over towards the other door and looks back at the orb, but does not coerce it in any way, shape, or form to come with it.
Yeah. The whole time you're walking toward the door, you feel that you have that thing's eye on you the entire time. It's just watching you and watching what you do.
Rusty gets up to the next door. Doesn't go in yet, but not knowing what's past this door, looks to the little buddy and just gives it a nod, perhaps Rusty's own eyes, which is like the face, the little horizontal bar. It pulses just like a slow like drone, like doo, doo, something that's like a kind of like a peaceful, relaxing kind of pace, and goes to the door without the buddy.
Yeah. In this room, you see an exact identical recreation of the opposite room with an exact identical bed. For a moment, you maybe even have to wonder, did I get turned around? But no, it's a different room. It's just the same bed. The bed is so perfectly made that it's turned down in exactly the same places. The wrinkles on the bed look identical. Very bizarre.
Yeah, just the fireplaces. I can see the construction on those being similar and mirrored, and even these rooms, the rooms themselves being mirrored, sure. But this level of reflection, there's curiosity and caution here.
Yeah.
That it's not threatening, but something is unnatural here.
Since
Sorry, you were going to say?
No, since you're an automaton, I think that you would have some insight into this. And I want to tell you that the way you feel about this is that this seems to be a place that was constructed based on what people think or what something thinks people live like, rather than what people actually live like. It's as if something has taken pictures of a home and then tried to recreate that without ever actually having been in a home before.
And I think there's a little bit of I suppose the uncanny valley kind of experience, as much as Rusty could have that, being mostly exposed to, nature and the elements. Rusty did have a creator, and there probably was at one point in time a workshop or something that Rusty was created in, has these memories of what human or etc. buildings are. It's not naive to the world, just knows its own corner and the importance and the focus on that.
Yeah.
So Rusty inspects, would love to do another investigation check to see if there's anything else that could be different. There was the one figure in the other place
Yep.
that was off compared to the others, and just looks to see if there's any other difference, as minute as it could be, compared to the other room.
Yeah. Go ahead and make that other perception check, and we'll see. With a 19.
19.
Not a bad roll. I will say these two look so darn identical that you even wonder, there's no light source, so you don't know where the light is coming from. And all of the edges are so pristine and so perfect, especially for being concrete, that it does seem very, very uncanny how similar these two rooms are. But there are no differences that you can tell.
Seeing this, Rusty's thoughts go back to that figure in the one room. That was the one thing that was different.
Yeah.
Rusty's going to first go back into the main hallway, see if it can find the little automaton buddy.
Yep, it's just waiting for you. It's been waiting and watching that door until you come through, and then you can see something whir as you come through the door, as if it's watching you very carefully.
Rusty approaches,
Mm-hmm.
friendly, just
Yep.
gives a little almost like friendly wave
Yeah.
to the flying buddy and opts to go back to the main hall.
Yep. Yeah, and it will now just follow you back down as well.
Rusty would like to investigate the central pedestal as well, the one
Sure.
that it awoke upon.
Yeah. Nothing really special about it. It's just kind of a divot in the ground. It goes down somewhere between 4 and 6 feet. And there are stairs on every side, so it almost looks like the entry to like a pool or something.
Gotcha.
The floor is different compared to the rest of the floor. So the floors that you're on now are this kind of like polished concrete, really pristine, really perfect. The pit where you woke up feels older. There are chips and chunks taken out of that floor.
Rusty would go down and inspect the floor further and see like how chipped is it? Is it almost like there's like dirt on the ground, like that forest soil I'd be familiar with? Or is it a sign that perhaps there was something else here that the rest of this was built atop of?
Yeah, this does feel like rock, but it feels like different rock somehow.
Mhm.
It feels like these two things were not constructed at the same time, but you're just not quite sure why.
Rusty takes note of that and opts to make its way towards the other room,
Mm-hmm.
looking back towards the automaton friend before going for any signs of hesitancy or concern.
Yeah. Yeah, it will follow you really quickly. As you approach that door, it comes right to your side and really, really intensely looking at you, watching you very carefully.
Rusty's gonna go in and
Mm-hmm.
grab that gnollish sorcerer figure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. The little
And-
orb is going to stand in front of the door,
Mhm.
and you hear a click.
Is that the click of the door locking?
You may think that that is the case.
Rusty walks up, figure in hand,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like both hands kind of like hold it up to the little flying automaton, just
Mhm.
standing up naturally, clearly a peaceful offering, but just presents it.
It doesn't do anything other than kind of hone in on you, and it starts flashing that red light again that just seems to indicate, like, no, not going to happen. And should you try the door at any point, you would now find it locked.
Rusty looks at the automaton and asks it, "Is this where this belongs?"
It'll slowly blink a green light.
Rusty has its own hesitance, but kind of pulses back and says, "I trust you,"
Mm-hmm.
and puts it back daintily and neatly atop the safe-looking fireplace.
Yeah, and the moment that you do, you hear that click again, and I think the orb will move out of the way. The red light goes away. It just waits for you to leave.
Rusty nods and makes its way out of the room and goes to inspect the rainbow portal over here once more.
Yeah. As you approach, you no longer feel any hesitancy. You know that going through this portal is a one-way trip, but you feel like you've done everything that you can here, at least for now.
Rusty looks back for any sort of sign that the flying automaton would follow alongside it.
It doesn't seem to be, and yet it's still just kind of watching you curiously, wondering what you're going to do next.
Rusty turns to it,
Mhm.
and Rusty says, "Thank you.
Mm.
Your company. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I need to go home."
Okay. You don't
Be
see any
safe, friend.
recognition, but it just watches you.
Rusty turns back and steps through the portal.
Okay, awesome, awesome. As you walk through this portal, you're now going to find yourself somewhere new. As you step through, you feel darkness around you everywhere. And suddenly your sensors take in something, and you're in a room. And on either side of you, at the kind of bottom of this room, are prison doors. I think you should be seeing them now.
Yes, I see. I'm just taking in the space here.
Absolutely. This looks like a very old space, very crumbly everywhere.
Rusty inspects the flooring here to see if there's any semblance or similarity to the older stone that he saw in the prior space.
Yeah. It looks totally different. Different style, different. This feels more like tiling kind of stone.
Rusty's just thinking, this still isn't home. I need to get home.
Yeah.
And sensing just a bit more mystery, maybe even that little, like, survival instinct of there could be danger here.
Yeah.
Rusty puts away the dagger and opts to just have the bow notched and ready, just in case.
Yeah, great.
Cautiously, Rusty's going to go down to the bottom left here.
Yeah.
And see what lies beyond.
Okay, great. You will see that there is a door there, kind of like a prison door, but not prison bars. There's a handle, and it seems like you could maybe grab it and turn it if you wanted to open it.
Is the door the same style as the other side?
Yep, exact same.
Being more cautious, Rusty is going to proverbially put an ear to the door, see if there's anything that could be sensed, any light coming out from underneath, any sound or sign of movement, breathing, anything on the other side before proceeding.
Sure, you do hear distant sounds. They don't seem to be coming from immediately outside the door, but there is movement out there.
Rusty inspects the other door for similar signs before making the choice. Living in nature, living in the wild, especially also as an automaton with this extended life, there's a patience and slowness to the actions that Rusty takes.
Yeah, that makes sense. You hear the exact same sounds, similar, very similar, in kind of like distant, not very close to the door, but it does seem like both sides have people or something alive outside those doors.
Rusty opts to open this one.
Okay.
Cautiously, not like busting down the door, but just creeping in effectively.
Okay. All right, a few things are going to happen. First,
Okay.
the moment you open this door, you hear a bunch of other doors open all throughout this area. So you hear the sounds of a bunch of doors opening. As you open that door, it seems like that door seemed to open every other door in this place. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. The second thing that's going to happen is we're going to roll for initiative.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Are you doing that, or should I roll myself?
I will take care of them, and then you will roll for yourself. So basically, you're going to roll your perception skill, which ends up being your initiative in this case.
Okay. I am going to roll now.
All right. Just make sure that all of this came out correctly. And I believe that you have rolled a 25 for your initiative, which is very good.
Yes.
So we will get this encounter started. All right. Somehow begin encounter. That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. All right. it looks like a couple of them are going to go before you. So you hear sounds in the distance of someone moving around. Let me see how far they can move. All right. I'm getting my measurement tool out. So as we start doing measuring, as we start doing combat, you'll be wanting to grab the measurement tool to see how far things are away from you.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah, good. I don't want that, so that can go away. All right. This will not be able to get to you, but someone bursts into this room that you're in and just walks right up upon you, and it looks like some kind of prisoner who has just burst out. And likewise, it looks like another one is going to be able to make it most of the way, so you hear them coming down the hall toward that door that you just opened. And that then makes it your turn. So you have somebody who just all of a sudden has walked right up behind you, and seems to have malicious intent.
Malicious intent, but they have not attacked yet.
I would say they are preparing to attack. The only reason they didn't attack you yet is because they didn't have enough actions in their turn.
Right. Briefly clarify for me again
Sure.
the actions for movement. Like, I know it's in D&D you just have movement and then you have action separate. So I see a land speed at 25. Is that how much I can move with one action?
That's right. So movement, attacks, spells, anything like that usually takes up an action or two sometimes, 2 or even 3. But movement would count as one of those 3 actions. So moving to get a better vantage point is a beneficial thing for Pathfinder.
Okay, I understand.
Yes.
Seeing the malicious intent, Rusty's the blue pulsing that was just more like calm, careful, inquisitive.
Yeah.
It glows red.
Okay.
Rusty's going combat mode.
Yeah.
And the first thing Rusty is going to do is first action point blank stance.
Okay. Perfect.
And using that, I think I have to click that to enable, or
yes,
do I just say that I do it?
You can click use within the character sheet. So if you
I see. Okay, I see it now.
Mm-hmm. And that should have triggered. Good.
Okay.
That was applied as well. Good.
Okay, and then using the point blank stance, Rusty is going to take its first attack on the one immediately beside it.
Great. You're going to want to highlight that one and hit T, which should target it. You'll see some arrows pointing toward it.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect. And then you'll roll that attack.
I
think let's go ahead and draw your longbow, and we're going to say that doesn't take an action.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking for where the attacks are in here, or if they're under I was looking at my character sheet. I think it's under actions here.
Yep.
Okay, so I'd do that and then strikes. I think I just do the draw one hand.
Yep, and we're not going to treat that as an action because I feel like you were already prepped with that longbow.
Yes.
Yep.
And I see the plus 15, plus 10,
That's right.
plus 5. That's the plus 15 is the base, and then the 10 and 5 are the attack penalties.
Yeah.
Rusty already having the bow drawn out of caution and has entered that stance. Makes the first attack.
Great. Okay, that is a
25
hit.
to hit.
Yeah, great. And so you're going to roll that damage there. Perfect. All right, so that is 10. They will take that damage. I want to make sure that I am. Okay, great. They took that damage. That looked like that hurt quite a lot.
Okay, and I was double checking the actions. and I apologize, I'm going to use some D&D terminology here.
Sure.
I'm guessing because I've already used 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have used the stance, and I've used my attack.
That's right.
I could use, hypothetically, one of my actions to move.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do anticipate that I would incur an attack of opportunity.
So
Under normal... Oh, sorry, go.
yeah, that is a thing in Pathfinder. An attack of opportunity is a thing that some creatures have. I will say it tends to be more kind of elite creatures. This looks like it's probably just a peon of some kind. And so we call that a reactive strike in Pathfinder, and you doubt that this creature has any kind of reactive strike.
Okay. In that case, golly, I'm debating between 2 things.
Sure.
I'm debating between actually using the hunt prey, not on the one in front of me, but on the one that was heard across the hall, just to perhaps better anticipate its movements.
Yeah.
Or moving away from this door here, kind of moving past the other prisoner, trying to give Rusty more space.
Yeah.
I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's what Rusty's going to do. I think Rusty, instead of using the track prey for now, because it can intuit that it's likely whatever else is going to be coming in here, it's going to be coming into this room.
Yeah.
Rusty is going to give itself more space and move not through the guy, probably 5 feet up this way, if I can move. Hello.
Oh, I think you're probably on measure. You can't both measure and move at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, Rusty's like, yep, that's 5 feet away from me. Okay, how do I stop measuring? Please, I'm begging you. Select tokens. There we go. I got it. So maybe like 5 feet this way, the remaining 25 feet of movement this way.
Okay.
That way there can also be a little bit of a visual on the other side of the door for any possible threats coming through there.
Makes really good sense to me. Awesome. Will that be the whole of your turn then?
Those were my 3 actions, and my reaction cannot be used yet.
That's right.
To my understanding, so that should be it.
Okay, great. Then I will start moving on to the next ones. This one. I think can make it all the way in here. So let's grab you, and another one will just suddenly appear right through this door, right next to where you were. And that's going to be his whole turn. This one, I think that's 25. I'm mathing it out here. If that is 25, and that is 25, then I can get an attack on you, which is great. So I am going to strike you with my fist. I'm going to give you a punch. Let's see how this goes. Target you. And that is a hit. A 26 to hit.
Most certainly is.
Yes. So if you will hit that damage button for me.
Let's see. I hit the damage for you?
Yeah.
I am looking for where the damage button is. I see the sidebar. I see the...
Okay, maybe I have it. I'm good. Okay, only 5 damage. So did
gotcha.
Did you in fact take that? No, you now have to hit the damage button.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes,
so
yes,
you
yes.
roll the damage, and then I
right.
click to implement it.
That's right. I was
Gotcha.
getting ahead of
Okay.
myself. Okay, you took
Gotcha.
5 damage. Great. Perfect. Awesome. And that's his whole turn, which is good for you. Which brings us to this guy. I think I'm going to move him here. And then actually down here right outside this door, there's going to end up being a bottleneck situation. So he's just going to wait the rest of his turn. Which brings us back to this guy in this room. He's been pretty badly hurt. There's not a lot he can do. So I think he's just going to be angry. And he'll spend the first of his turn moving. And then he's going to try to punch you. Let's see. All right, that first one is a miss. He'll try to take you another attack at you with the multi-attack penalty, and that one will also miss. So he just swings wildly at you. Brings us to the guy who was outside the door. I think he's just gonna come in and bar that door. He's gonna block it from you, and he just waits there, just ominously looking at you. So that is their turn, and it's back to you.
Okay, to verify, am I still in the point-blank stance?
I believe you are. I don't think that gets turned off. Let me triple check here. Yeah, you are. So, yep.
Excellent. In which case, point-blank stance and 2 people right on top of me sounds like the perfect chance to bust out the double shot.
Perfect.
So we're going to target the badly hurt one right next to me,
Good.
and the one that's immediately on me,
Okay.
just to see if we can get those 2 off of me a bit.
Awesome.
Okay, we got that. Am I doing the roll?
Yep, you will just roll 2 different strikes. So I think you will incur both attacks count toward your multiple attack penalty, but the penalty doesn't increase after you've made until.
Yeah, so I'll get a
you've made
-2 on this, but
Yes.
that's not multi-attack penalty.
Yep.
So I am smart. I know where to roll for attacks. I did this before. I could do it again.
Yeah. You got this.
Okay, I see it now.
Cool.
I have to click the double shot on the strike, and then it calculates for me
Yeah.
under strikes. It's now 13, 8, 3. So I'm rolling for each of them. So for the first one, the first one's going to target the injured one.
Perfect. Oh my gosh.
That
it's
is
critical.
a 32.
It's a critical. Awesome. Do you see that critical button at the bottom right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, roll that. Okay.
20 damage.
Takes 20 damage. That kills it. It's dead.
And Rusty, with no hesitation, there's no glory or celebration in killing. This is strictly self-defense.
Sure.
As much as Rusty is a creation, an entity that respects life, it also recognizes that power and weakness and natural order things means that some live and some die, so there is no hesitation in taking out anything that's a threat to itself. So with that, this is just one more death it's seen out of countless from its entire life, and Rusty makes that second attack on the closer prisoner. This one right here.
Perfect. All right, that's a hit.
26.
Yep. Go ahead and roll that damage. 9. Okay.
9.
Great. Okay, takes that damage. Looks really angry. It really got hurt there. And you still have an action left. Now, if you were to attack again, the way that I interpret double shot, you would then be taking that third map penalty. The kind of worst one.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Now, is that third against a same target or any target?
Any target. Anything that would have
Any
the
target.
action
Okay.
rate. Yeah.
Okay, having gotten those shots off, I'm just reading Hunt Prey here just to make sure. Designate a single creature as your prey. Focus your attacks against that creature. I did purposefully not use that, if only because I think Rusty in this situation would truthfully be like, okay, get off me. Bah, bah.
Yes.
Like more focus on like analyzing the situation, just that reaction towards threats towards it.
Yeah.
See or hear the prey. Gain bonus on perception checks, on seek and track. Rusty would look around And Rusty sees the two by the door. They're not going to be difficult to track since they're in the same room, but there's the one that's just outside. Rusty's not sure if they're going to be coming in or not, or running somewhere else. Rusty is going to opt to hunt prey on the one outside the room they can barely see.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Trying to see if you need to do anything for that. So you also...
Doesn't seem like there's any roll or anything.
I don't think so. I think you can just designate it. It is just a simple action. So, yeah, it does just take an action, but essentially we're just marking that, and you will take a smaller multi-attack penalty with your second attack during that. So the way that works is the second time you would attack it, you would ignore your multi-attack penalty for that for that enemy specifically.
All right, and then that's my third action. So Rusty just prepares itself for continued hand-to-hand combat.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next guy. Which one are you? You're here. All right, it's going to take a step forward, and it's going to swing at you. Let's see what happens here. That's a miss. It misses you. And it critically misses you.
Okay, critical miss.
Yes, critical miss. It's a unnamed kind of peon, so it doesn't really necessarily matter that it critically missed. It's not going to incur any terrible penalty from that. But I think that I will say that that's going to end its turn since it's critically missed. Actually, that does end its turn anyway because it moved. It moved and took 2 attacks, so that's fine. The next one is the one that's already right next to you, and he anged you. He's going to draw a little knife. He takes out a shiv. And he will attack you with that. So he's going to try to shiv you. And he also critically misses, so I think he drops his shiv.
Oh no.
The shiv is going to fall on the ground as he drops it. And I think maybe because it's just a shiv, it just maybe breaks and crumbles on the ground. So that's a huge boon for you, actually, that he doesn't have that anymore. And let's go ahead and end his turn since he's all flustered from critically missing. These guys cannot hit you for anything. I think that one that you have marked is now going to come into the room, and you will be flanked at this point. It's going to attack you with 2 actions. No, actually, I think it's going to draw a shiv. So it also has a shiv. It brings out the shiv, and he's going to attack you, and it will miss. Swing wildly and miss. You're doing really well. This is going perfectly. All right, so we have just the one left by the door, and he's not going to attack you. He's holding that door to make sure that you can't get out. So that brings it back to you.
Okay, well, I'm surrounded.
Yep.
I'm still in the point-blank stance.
Yep.
There's one that's weakened and one that I'm targeting.
Yep.
Strategically, the best option is... we did mention that there aren't really attacks of opportunity that are happening from these guys.
That's right.
I'm just trying to reconcile against existing D&D knowledge. I'm kind of going against some kicked into my head instincts
Understandable.
Here. I think what's going to happen is there's first going to be movement from Rusty.
Okay.
To just get out of this, get some breathing room here.
Sure.
Not too far, just kind of center-ish of the room. Make sure there's still a visual on both the doors, possible entrance coming in.
Okay.
And with the second and third actions, Rusty's going to take a double shot targeting the injured one from before first.
Okay.
And then the prey, the mark. I want to say hunter's mark. It's not hunter's mark. It's not D&D.
Yes.
So we're going to start with a double shot on the injured one.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. That looks like it's
16 is a miss.
Yeah. He just
Now, I
dodges
would
out
be
the way.
tempted to shoot the same one again, but mechanically, I do think it has to be 2 different
You make
targets.
2 strikes each against a separate target, yes.
Yeah, and it says blinding fast succession, so it's just going to be boom, boom. There's no
Yes.
time to even consider if the first arrow has even hit by the time the second one's being launched.
That's right.
So Rusty has already let loose the first one before it even hits that prisoner, who maybe is bending down on the ground by the time the arrow's gone through, to pick up the shiv and do
Yes,
whatever,
yes.
and that's why it missed. The next double shot is going to go towards the one with the hunt prey, which I believe that's just a bonus for perception and
That's right.
survival.
That's right.
So, okay.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! That's a critical miss. That is a critical miss. I still haven't prepared the critical miss deck, so I think you get a pass here. I needed to have the critical miss deck ready, and I didn't have it ready because I am a dork. So let's just treat that as a miss, and we'll move right along. So
Okay.
yeah. So I think that ends your turn. I thought things were going so well, and now all of a sudden, 2 misses in a row. All right. I think this one who's closer to the door is now going to take position where the other one is and hold that door closed. And so now you are well and proper trapped. So that's going to be his whole turn, that he's going to hold door. Let's see. This one is the one that's hurt, that has lost his shiv. He'll take a step forward to attack you and then take 2 attacks. He's going to try to
Bring
punch
it.
you. Yeah. Here is his punch. That's a critical miss. Let's do it again. Another critical miss. They cannot hit you. Wow. All right. Fun. We're going to have a lot of misses.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, do I have the deck now? I have the critical miss deck, so the next time you make a critical miss, I now have the fumble deck. All right.
Oh, no.
Yes. The next one will move at you, and I think he's going to take a full movement to flank you. Now you're fully flanked, and will then attack you with his shiv. And hit. He hits you. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. It's not that bad. It's just 6. Okay.
Oh,
right.
shift just a D20 on damage? That's wild range.
Oh, it's no, it's only D4 plus 2.
Oh, where did I see the D20 then? Maybe that's just on the to hit.
Yeah, I think it was probably just the
Yeah.
the hit. All right, and he will then attack you again and miss. All right, good. This guy is holding the door, and so it's back to you.
Okay, well, Rusty's instincts would have him prioritize a more weak target. That's how it works in the wild. You
Sure.
target the weaker ones.
Yeah.
So I think another double shot is going to happen.
Okay.
If only because actually I'm just thinking, would I prefer mechanically a non-double shot, or oh, you know what? I see. Okay. Target is hunted prey. I forgot that if they're hunted prey, I incurred less of a attack penalty on the second attack. So I think I did a little bit of a faux pas on the first double shot. I think what's going to be better.
A slightly better attack penalty. So you would take a -3 instead of a -5 with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a difference of 2. And
Yeah.
if I'm already doing the -2 on the double shot, that means the -2 is happening on the second attack regardless.
Yeah.
Which means if I just do 2 attacks here, starting with a regular one on the more injured one, that's +2 to hit compared to what a double shot would be against these two. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Okay.
There's going to be a regular attack, a regular strike taken on the weakened prisoner.
Okay, great. All right.
25.
Hits. Okay. Awesome. I believe that takes him out.
Okay.
Awesome.
And with no hesitation, Rusty turns around and actually, would it turn around or? I think what's going to happen is Rusty is going to take some movement to get some space from the other prisoner.
Sure.
Kind of like put himself smack dab in the middle of the three of them here.
Yeah.
Turns around and launches a second attack with the final action towards the prisoner. And that would be the target assigned prey.
Yep.
+12 to hit. 18.
Awesome. That is a hit. Great. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All that damage.
7. Okay. Did I do that right? Yeah. Good. Okay. Good. He got an arrow sticking out of him now. He's like, ah! Awesome. All right. Let's move right along. What do I want to do here? This one who was holding the door will kind of shoot a glance to the other one also holding the door. And I think he's going to move in now and start attacking you. So that door now becomes open to you. And he can attack twice. He will take out his shiv because he hasn't done that yet. And he will try to shiv you. You are targeted. Let's see how this goes. That's a miss. They can't hit you.
Just barely.
Too good. All right, so that is his whole turn. This one to your north will move down here to get flank on you. And we'll get to attack twice. That is a miss. And that is a critical miss. All right, so that ends his turn. Okay. Let's go ahead and have this one also enter the fray. The doors are now open, so if you wanted to leave the room, that's available to you, but he is going to draw his shiv and attempt to stab you and miss. All right, so that's you.
Wow. Yeah, this is it's kind of intense being surrounded, but also given the nature of this being, a prison, Rusty can tell that these are not the most well-off combatants.
Yes.
So that perhaps explains just the wild and erratic kind of swinging, not anything hyper targeted and focused. But Rusty is staying calm and will adopting that tactic from earlier of saving that second strike for the marked prey. Rusty, given that neither of these ones have been targeted yet, is probably going to go for the one that most recently attacked first.
Okay.
So this one to the south, Rusty is going to launch a regular strike. Let me untarget prey and do the 15 to hit.
Awesome. That is a critical
29.
Hit. Yeah, roll that critical damage.
Okay, and let's see what we do here. 16.
Okay. Take that damage. Almost dead. I believe it has 1 hit point left. On death's door. Okay. All right, first action taken.
Yeah, now I have 2 actions left. I think what Rusty is going to do, Rusty is actually seeing this one as weakened. Despite the multi-attack penalty, I think Rusty is going to go for whatever's the most likely to completely eliminate a combatant and do a second attack without that hunted prey bonus on this weakened prisoner.
Okay, smart. That hits.
25 to hit.
Yeah. Roll damage. I don't think it'll matter because I think it kills it anyway. All right. You are dead. All right.
The just to get that space away from these guys, not wanting to risk any hasty attacks with the bow. Rusty's going to go back not too far, just 15 feet or so.
Okay, great. I think that these two at this point are going to look at their dead companions, kind of freak out a little bit, and I think that what they have to do here is I don't think they're smart enough to use any kind of tactics, unfortunately. I think they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. You're not flanked here, so he doesn't have a great chance to hit you, but he is going to try to shiv you.
Wait, so is flanking like a statistical bonus in Pathfinder?
They get a slight bonus if they are on either sides of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't register that.
And of course, he's going to miss, obviously. And then he's probably going to miss again. Yeah, he missed again. These guys really have no chance against you. The next one's going to do the same thing. You, of course, won't ever benefit from flanking because you can't flank because you're by yourself.
Maybe I should have been the inventor after all, invented a buddy to flank with me.
Indeed. This one will try to shiv you and will actually hit.
Okay.
For 4.
I'll take it.
All right, they are taking little tiny pieces of you, and he'll attack again, and will miss. All right.
That one misses.
Brings us back to you.
Okay, well, since I'm already in the close combat stance, we're going to go through this kind of quickly. First, targeting the just for the statistical advantage here, since I already have the well, you know, I think we're going to just go first shot in this guy after all.
Okay.
Target is hunted prey. I know it's a lesser multi-attack penalty, but again, just taking out the weakest one, I think is going to be the best bet. Yeah. So let's go with this first attack, not even moving. We got a 32 to hit.
Critical hit. Critical hit. I think this will probably kill him.
Let's take a look. 14
does in fact take him out. Good.
Okay.
Excellent.
Rusty turns and aims the longbow at the final prisoner, but doesn't attack yet.
Okay.
Instead, Rusty just matter-of-factly states, "Your companions are fallen. We need not draw this out.
Okay. Tell
me where this is, and I could spare your life."
I think he's just gonna hold his hands up. He's still holding that shiv, but he's just gonna hold his hands up like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do anything," but doesn't say anything in response to you.
Okay. That was, I think, technically a second action, so I need a little bit of help here translating this from D&D.
Sure.
I would like to effectively ready an attack.
Okay.
So ready the second attack towards this prisoner here, with the trigger for it being they actually make any sort of move to attack me, and that's when I'll loose this arrow that I have drawn. I have drawn, it's threatening this prisoner, but I've not loosed it yet.
Okay.
And if they're backing off, going away, then I won't attack.
Okay.
But if they're staying close, they're going to get into me, I'm loosing it on them.
Okay. So having taken that really what should have been truly just a free action, I think.
Okay.
I think that technically you should have 2 actions left. And so I kind of want to be a little bit fast and loose here, because what's going to happen next is this guy is definitely going to try to get a sneaky attack on you, right? Totally not trustworthy whatsoever. He puts his little hands up, and then he was totally going to go for an attack next.
Okay. If that counted as a free action, may I retroactively reapply that hunt prey since my first one was defeated?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So technically there is a mechanic for hold action in this kind of situation. But I think playing this out the way that it is right now, I think we can telegraph it a little bit, because I think it just makes for a better story. That we're
Sure.
in this like this kind of place. You've marked him. You've prepared your action, and then I don't think there's really any real necessity to get into the gritty of it. But he would try to attack you as soon as he can, which I think let's open that back up to you and say, I think my prerogative, like GM prerogative, I want to give you a bonus. So I'm going to give you a +1 bonus just from my perspective that this guy was gonna shank you. So if you want to go ahead and make that attack, go for it.
Yes, I'm going to roll modifier. I'm going to add a 1 here.
Perfect.
Just circumstance bonus.
Yep.
And then roll with the +13.
Yeah, great. And it's somehow a miss. Maybe he just...
Maybe there was that like little hint of hope.
Yes.
Like, okay, I'm not really going to have to do this. Surely this is a logical creature that's scared and will listen to me. And then Rusty's like, oh, crap, I actually have to fight this thing.
Yeah, he goes for you. So we'll just swing right into his turn very, very quickly. He's going to attack you. He has his shiv out, and he just swing, all 3 attacks in a row. Let's see how this goes. He does hit.
Yeah, the first one hits.
That's 4.
Take that damage.
Right. The next one, critical miss.
Critical miss.
Yeah. And then another critical miss. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So he did get a little slice on you, and then he just goes, ah, and nothing else effective happens. All right. Which brings us back to you.
Rusty redraws the bow and just says to itself, you poor creature. And lets loose a shot.
Okay. Critical hit.
Let's roll that damage.
25.
25 damage.
It out. Like just the vision in my mind of this going down, of you being like, stand down, and then he attacks, and you just go, bonk. Just, I love it. That's so perfect. All right. The moment that he falls, you hear something in the distance. You hear some magical noise of some kind. All right. So in this room at the south, I've represented it as a bunch of like spikes, but essentially a wooden door appears out of nowhere. Just appears. It's just a door that just appears right in the middle. Not attached to a wall, just a magical wooden door has appeared. And it happens the exact moment that 5th guy falls.
Rusty is curious, but sees the door, takes a look at it, recognizes it as part of this just mysterious circumstance that Rusty is in.
Sure.
But doesn't go to the door yet.
Okay.
Rusty, despite the ruthlessness and the just pure instinct and combat that happened before, still has a respect for life and death around him.
Yeah.
So Rusty's going to take the time to actually line up the prisoners' bodies along the wall, put them in a just kind of like more like respectable position, close their eyes, not even bothering to like loot the bodies or anything, just because Rusty has no need for money, just recognizes that these were living creatures. They were pained, scared, fighting for whatever reason, and they're resting now. They're done.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. Cool.
So having done that, Rusty still isn't going to go to that door yet. Rusty recognizes that there is an environment past this room and wishes to explore to see what the nature of this area was. Who were these random people that... I don't think Rusty even knows that they were prisoners per se. I see the prisoner listing on here, but I don't think Rusty would know that. Rusty would just think there was 5 guys that were trying to attack him.
Yeah. I'll let you kind of explore around a little bit if you want to... Oh, sorry about that. If you want to move around. But I think we can sort of hand wave as you explore, and I'll just tell you that this looks very much... Are you able to get through that door? I don't know if maybe it's closed.
had to go through a wall. It was
Yeah.
just like I was stuck in a wall or something apparently when I was doing that.
That's okay. So I'll kind of a little bit hand wave some of this stuff and just say, as you're going through this, this just seems to be a prison, and there are cells, and there are dead, long dead skeletons in some places. But the more you explore it, the more you realize there's also no way in or out. This place seems to be fully contained. There are no doors that would lead you out of the prison. You don't know if maybe there's some kind of secret mechanism that would let people in or out, but it just kind of seems to be just one large contained prison with a bunch of different cells in it. And when you open that first door, people just came running out and attacked you.
Yeah, just Rusty's taking
Sure.
Rusty's time going through.
Sure. Makes
As
sense.
an automaton, just takes things at a leisurely, comfortable pace.
Of course.
If there's not, imminent death going on,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
Plus, the interesting thing is always behind the door that you don't open. So, satisfied with the exploration, Rusty returns and stands in front of this mysterious door
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Kind of inspects it. You said it was freestanding. Rusty would probably walk around it,
Yeah.
like in a circle, just almost like animalistic even, just inspecting something.
Yeah, and it is just a freestanding door that just appeared out of nowhere. Definitely magical, kind of gives off surely magical vibes. Even without like any Arcana knowledge, you go, oh, well, that's not right. That's weird. And it just seems like just a wooden, normal door. Definitely different from the rest of the vibe of this prison. It doesn't belong here. But it just kind of waits for you.
Rusty lifts up a hand to the door, and if Rusty had eyes, they would be closed right now. And Rusty just says to itself, to the aether, to Rusty's long, almost forgotten mother, "Take me home, please," and pushes through the door.
Yeah. As you step through this door, you find yourself in another place. This place is very cluttered. It looks like someone's treasure room, but not like a not like a dragon hoard. And we're not moving to another place on the map just yet, so I'm just kind of describing this to you. But you've walked into something that looks somewhere between a museum and a library, and you'll see the picture of this that was posted earlier. You're going to see a table, and you're going to see a woman, very pale woman in very pale skin, wearing business-like clothes, and she has two sets of curving horns. So one set that curves and one set that comes straight up off the back of her head. And she's drinking some kind of drink. And as you step into this room, this kind of like circular museum library-like room, she's staring at the door as if she were waiting for you to come through. She says, so you're here? Come and sit.
Rusty doesn't sit yet. Rusty is not hand-drawn on the bow because there's no immediate threat here, but definitely side-eyeing the area, still confused and perceiving as to what could be possibly going on. And instead of sitting, just cautiously asks from the door, "Where am I and who are you?"
I have many different names that I've been called. Many people call me different things. I am a collector of various things. You can call me WitchHazelHyena, but most people think that that's really hard to say, so you can just call me Uni if you want. I don't really care. You're not going to know me for very long anyway.
WitchHazelHyena. Where is this? I should not be here. I need to be home.
I don't know where your home is. That's not information that I have any knowledge of. You are in my little parlor. This is where I live. I'm here all the time. Many people come here. Now you're here. That's what we're having. Do you Do you drink? I don't know if maybe you drink. You look like maybe you don't have the capacity.
I have no need for biological consumption like that.
Then I shall enjoy this for you, and you can either sit or you can stand in the doorway and look like you're very weird.
If Rusty had eyes, they would be narrowed right now. Not used to chairs necessarily, but it still sits on like rocks and stumps out in the woods. Rusty does opt to sit down, a little bit awkwardly, but does opt to sit down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still kind of looking around, not even at Uni right now, just taking in the environment, not totally comfortable and familiar with domiciles and buildings.
Yeah. She kind of gestures, because basically what you're seeing is like old books, old tomes, things that were treasured, some weapons and various things like that. Anything that probably is to some degree valuable to someone, right? And she says, you can take a look around if you want, but it's not really going to matter. If you want, we can get right down to business. I've got things to do. You've got things to do. We can go if you want, or you can sit there and think.
Rusty responds, not with any negative dismissiveness. It's truly neutral. Rusty just says, I care not for this place. I simply need to go home. If you do not know where my home is, I just need to know how to leave here.
She points behind her and she says, behind me there's a door. It's a different door from the door that you just came through. You came from one door, this is another door. It's a different door. This door takes you to the next place. I don't know what the next place is because I never see anybody after they go through that door. But that is the door that you have to go through. You can't go back where you came from before. So this is the door that you want. If you want to go through that door, you can go through that door now. That takes you to the next place. But if you want to stay, maybe I can help you for a minute. Don't have a lot of time.
How could you help me?
Many people come here, they come through here, they move through. I know that you probably fought some people to get here, right? A lot of people have told me that they fought some kind of animal or something, and then they came through this door. Oh no, it's so terrible. I'm so scared. Where am I? I want to go home. I've heard this many, many times. I'm tired of hearing it. It is fine. But I am a collector. I collect things. One of the things that I like to collect people's stories. So, you want to tell me a story? I hear your story. If I like your story, maybe I give you something that helps you. Maybe you need a weapon. Maybe you need something that can help you, like an armor or a shoe or something like this. I can give you such a thing, but you have to trade me for a story. But I need to tell you before you decide one way or another. If you decide that you want to sell me your story, it will be my story. It's not your story anymore. It is mine. If you agree to these terms, I will help you.
Rusty doesn't quite understand the value of a story. In this situation, Rusty wouldn't even be sure if this is like a standard kind of humanoid transaction or what.
Yeah.
But the only story Rusty has is one that he's already... I'm not sure if it's he, right? I'm defaulting to he.
Sure.
Rusty, it's one that Rusty has already almost forgotten. There's not enough there. But there's something that Rusty feels that can't be sacrificed, else that Rusty will lose part of what makes it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Rusty looks and says, that story is all I have left. I can't give it away.
I understand. You're very brave. I will be sad to not have your story, but I let you keep it. That is okay.
I understand. Just answer a question for me.
If I can answer it, I will.
Who brought me here?
Hmm. Did you see a small little bug that was flying around? People describe it as little metal bug of some kind.
Yes, there was a tiny automaton when I woke up.
Now, I don't know for sure because I live here and I don't live there. This is the only place that I live. I'm only ever here and I've been here for a very, very, very long time. I think maybe Little Bug brought you to where you are now. I don't know for sure, but everyone tells me the same story. As they come through here, they all say, I woke up, there was Little Bug, it was Little Metal Bug, it watched what I'm doing, I'm very confused about it, and then I came through a door, and there was big circle and big light, and I fought something, and now I'm very scared, and they come through the door. Sometimes they sell me stories, sometimes they don't sell me story, and that's what I do. That's what I know. But I think it is my only opinion. Somehow, Little Bug brought you here.
Rusty is quiet. To the outsider, it might seem like an awkward silence, but so much of this is illogical to an automaton that's built on fairly basic and logical, like logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
After a bit of the awkward pause, Rusty asks the only question left that is the only other variable that hasn't been connected to anything, and asks, do you know anything about a figure of a small sorcerer, maybe gnoll, maybe other creature, that there was a figure, there was a small figure carving something. I don't know what it was there, but that bug, as you call it, that bug had a connection to it.
For a long time, Uni is silent. And she looks at you with narrowed eyes, and she takes a sip of whatever it is that she's drinking, and then she sets it down. Without answering, she gets up, takes out a book, and starts leafing through. She says, you said it was like a sorcerer type of a gnoll?
Maybe a gnoll. I believe rabbit ears or some other similar appearance, but a small figure.
I do remember such a being that came here. So
Like me.
Yes, sold me a story, in fact. Made a good trade. I feel good about that trade. Gave away something that was important to me and got back a story. That's now my story, and I'm not going to share it because it's not mine to share. But she closes the book. She says, I do know about this person, this creature.
They were like me. They came through here.
They came through here, yes.
Rusty is pensive. Again, that little bit of an almost awkward silence, as if just the gears in the head were turning. Rusty just isn't going to be like, oh my gosh, what is this? I'm so confused. Rusty goes back to the singular narrowed focus.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will not help me go home.
Yes.
I need to go home.
I wish you good luck. You will take the door behind me.
Thank you.
Of course.
Rusty walks past, and before going through the door, turns back, takes a look around, and just the smallest ember of a memory burning in the deepest, darkest corners of Rusty's mind. And before Rusty leaves, he just says, "Mother would have liked this place," and left.
All right, as you step through that door, Uni's parlor was dark, a little bit. I wouldn't say gloomy, but I'll call it stark. Yeah, it was just like a dark, kind of low lit place. You walk through this next door, and you are kind of blasted by light immediately as you step into a clearing. On the opposite side of the clearing, you see what looks like some kind of lava pool. And coming out of the lava pool are two leshy creatures. And we are jumping right into combat immediately. The moment you step through the door, they're rushing at you. And so we are already into combat, and we're going to roll for initiative for all of these guys. All right. Okay. It looks like you rolled a 22, I believe.
Yes.
All right. So they are moving ahead of you. Let's see. So you saw immediately these two leshies, and then hiding behind a bush pops out a kasobake, traditional Japanese umbrella monster kind of a thing. And
is that baked into Pathfinder lore?
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting.
I know. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm making him twirl. All right. So you are going to move down here by 25 feet, and then do a full 50 feet of movement toward you as it goes. I love its stupid tongue. It's like hopping along at you. Bursts at you, and then one of the leshies gets to go to oh, I didn't mean to do that. They only have 20 feet of movement, so it gets to go here, and then another 40. 20. I think that was 40. How far was that? 60. Yes. All right. That's its whole move. It can only do that. And I thought you were next, but I guess it has... I don't think the Kasobake was supposed to go first. It got a pretty bad...
And somehow I think we'll live.
Yeah, it got a pretty bad initiative, but I guess for some reason it gets to go first because it's a hoppy little thing.
I think Rusty was just caught so off guard.
Yeah.
Maybe when these these lushes are like, what the hell is this thing?
All right, so you get to move 60 feet as well, and that brings it to you. All right, Rusty.
All right. Rusty is recognizing that all of these are a threat, but is unsure which is the bigger one.
Uh-huh.
Seeing that there's seeing that there's two different types, I think Rusty would be a bit logical and prodding as to like what the reaction would be from each of them.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately, I think these are within 100 feet. Let me do the measurement here just to make sure. That's 50. That's 55. Okay.
Yeah.
Rusty is going to go ahead and, for now, take a double shot. First at the westernmost Leshy,
Mm-hmm.
and the second at the Casa Obake.
Okay, great.
So we'll start with the Leshy. Target that one first.
Okay, great.
And we are going to double shot.
Oh, it's a critical hit.
Critical hit. Let's
Nice.
take a look what this is.
Nice. All right, 13 damage, and that was at the Leshy, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right.
And then the second shot, before Rusty can even register what happened to the Leshy,
Mm-hmm.
is going to go towards the Casa Obake.
Okay, great. That is also a hit. Okay, 5 damage.
Low roll.
Yeah. All right.
And with the final action, since that was 2 actions, in anticipation of them coming up directly upon Rusty, Rusty is going to once again assume the point-blank stance, since that expired after the previous combat.
Okay, great. Interesting. Okay, let's take...
I am scared of your interesting.
Me too. I don't know why it's treating the Casa Obake as in front in combat when its initiative was worse.
I am willing to just
Yeah.
say that the Casa Obake rolled like a 40
Sure,
somehow. I
sure.
don't care.
Yeah. I don't know why it's treating it that way, but let's just go with it. Okay. All right. Let's have the Casa Obake go. It can reach you in 50. It can reach you in 50, so it's going to go, and it is going to use its foot attack on you. It gets a pretty good strike, so let's see how it does. It's going to basically try to kick or scratch you like a little dinosaur. And... oh, I didn't target you. Does a 20 hit you? I think it does. Your ace
I
normally
have a
doesn't.
24 armor
You have
class.
a 24, so that misses. Okay, great. It did not hit you. Good. End of its turn. Weird Casa Obake that goes out of turn for some reason. All right, how far? 30 feet. 30 feet. So 30 feet from you. Oh, I don't mean to move you. 30 feet from you would be like there. And this is 30 feet. So let's move you there. So this Leshy moves here, and then it is going to use an attack on you that is called a water jet with a range
Water jet,
increment
okay.
of 30 feet.
Okay.
It has this to hit. You are targeted. It's a miss. Okay, that's good for you. I think it can not go again because it took 2 movements. So that will move it along. How many movements do you need to get within 30 feet? I think this one... Yeah, I think this one might be able to get within and make 2 attacks. I hope at least. Yes, that's fine. So that would be within 30 feet. It's going to be able to use its water jet at you twice. All right, here it goes. Water jet number 1. Critical miss.
Critical miss.
Good job, little Leshy. What are you doing? Come on, give me an 18. Give me an 18.
Maybe hitting the Casa Obake in front of me by mistake.
You know what? I like that. I like that, actually. For 8 damage. Let's have you take that damage. Alright, Casa Obake takes 8 damage because this Leshy was clumsy. And then it will try to hit you with a water jet again. And it does another critical miss. I'm not gonna. This time I'm gonna have it just shoot wildly.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah, that's the one that Rusty injured before, so it's probably thrown off, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that puts us back to you.
Okay, seeing that these things can attack from a distance, Rusty wants to maintain as much of a distance as it can, so Rusty's going to start going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this way.
Okay.
And is going to hone in on the ones that have already been damaged, starting with the Leshy that's further away.
Okay.
It should still be within the 100 feet range. Plenty. We're going to go ahead and do another double shot.
Awesome.
So let's go ahead on the first Leshy.
All right, that's a hit.
23.
Nice.
Roll that damage.
All right. Taking that damage.
Still standing. Then we'll do the little umbrella boy over here. Get that double shot going.
Oh, it's a critical.
33 to hit.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Woo!
It's still up. It's not happy.
Wow, it survived that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Big damage.
Yes.
Well, that's the turn.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That puts
Good
us,
an outcome as I can hope for.
Yeah. That puts us back at the Casa Obake. Just checking a few things. All right. Okay. I am going to move in. I'll get to do 2 strikes on you. Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to do a foot kick. Foot kick at you. Critical.
Oh no, that's the first crit I've taken.
Yes. This could be bad. All right, it gets a good kick in on you, and it deals in total 22.
Ouch.
Damage. Yeah, that hurt.
That leaves a mark.
That hurt. And it then gets to attack again. Another kicky for a hit.
I think this is bogus. It only has one leg. How can it kick twice?
Because it's got flappy umbrella. It's flapping up in the air and doing kick.
I do not wish to be flapped.
All right, that was a heck of a turn for me. All right, that's
Yes, it was.
end of the Casa Obake. For now, that puts us to this Leshy. I'm gonna have you move here, and then do your water spray from here. Let's try. Let's see how this goes.
Blocking off that escape route I wanted.
Yeah. They're not totally dumb. Okay, that's a hit. That's a hit. All right. So you now need to also succeed at a DC 20 Fortitude save.
Fortitude, huh?
Yeah. You have succeeded.
28.
You have succeeded. You're not dazzled. Looks like you are fine. And that is the whole of it. It has an ability called Sea Spray, which is what it tried to do, but it will do damage to you, and that damage will be in the amount of 10. Oh my gosh, that's like a perfect roll for me almost.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I was sitting pretty. All of a sudden, I'm at only 22 health right now.
They are savage. This one is going to take 2 movements, and instead of using its Sea Spray ability, it's going to melee attack you. Alright. Miss. Alright.
Ooh.
And that is you.
Okay. First, just to get them off, I think what Rusty's going to do is not going to do double shot. Just needs to get to a bit of a safer place.
Sure.
We'll immediately, since we've already entered the close combat stance, targeting the Obake immediately north. Going to do a close range shot.
Okay. Critical hit.
Critical hit.
Love it.
We're going to roll that critical damage.
26. It's dead.
Oh, thank goodness.
Wow.
I just imagine just out of frustration almost, just that bow just lands right in the eye.
I love it.
Kasa Obake, more like Kuso Obake.
So I think that means you have 2 actions left, and I will remind you that I do believe that you have a healing potion on you.
I most certainly do, and that was on the agenda.
Yes.
First of all, Rusty is going to use 1 unit of movement to move just as much as possible out this way.
Right.
I do recognize it's going to be movement involved, but just needs to get some semblance of safety.
Nice.
And with the final action, taking that potion.
Okay, nice. Go ahead.
And a good roll on it, too.
Yeah, really good. Excellent.
So back up to 40.
Good. All right. Whew. Back and forth. Okay. That's this Leshy. You are 30 feet. You're within my spray range, so it's gonna water jet you. That's a hit. Again, you'll have to make that DC 20 Fortitude save.
I'm not seeing the save pop up yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, made it.
25.
Very good. Your damage will be 11. Oh my gosh, I'm rolling so well.
Oh no.
Okay, and I get another attack. And it's a miss, and I get
Miss.
another attack, another spray, and it's a critical miss. Alright. Next one, I think it's also just going to run in at you and strike you with its melee seaweed strand. Actually, this thing has range. I didn't need to move in that close, but that's fine. It's a dumb little Leshy. That's a hit.
That is a hit, okay.
11 damage.
Listen, there are low numbers on the dice, too. I'd appreciate if you take advantage of those.
I'll do my best. Here we go. How about 15? That work for you?
Thank you. We'll take that.
Yeah,
We take
okay,
that.
Cool. All right, that is you.
All right. I think at this stage, movement is not going to do much to inhibit damage. So we are going to go for... Do I do the Hunted Prey here? I'm going to say... No, we're going to go ahead, start with a double shot on the both of them.
Okay.
So we're going to target the one immediately in front of us and then spin around to hit the other.
Okay, great.
So first hit, double shot. Let's check that number in there.
That's a miss.
That is a miss. Next one, targeting the further,
Oh, critical hit.
is a critical hit.
Beautiful.
Let's see if this saves us.
19 damage. Not
19
bad.
damage.
Not bad at all. Okay. Excellent.
And for the third action, I still have one more. Still have one more.
My bad.
Golly. If I don't take out one of these, their DPS is going to outpace me. I have to go for this second attack on the further one,
Okay.
I think. 'Cause that's the one that's been the most damage so far.
Yeah.
So, we're to go ahead and
you will take...
make this roll.
Let's see. That was that with the full map?
That was the that was, yes.
Okay, great.
That was 10.
Great. Then that is a hit.
Okay. Please,
Nice.
please.
Nice. 10 is pretty good. Where did that go? I think yeah, that's right. Good. Good. Excellent.
Oh, it's still standing?
It is still standing. It is still
Oh,
standing.
no. Okay.
I think, however, it is going to use its turn to get a better position on you. That's 20. That's 30. That's 15. That's going to be its entire move. Its entire turn.
To flank me.
Yep. And then the other one will start to try to smack you with its seaweed strand. Okay.
The Cassiopeia get back to life.
No.
Ah,
Wait, what?
No.
Where did that happen?
I don't know. I'm scared.
No. You should be dead. I don't know why that happened. You're still dead. I don't know why the game brought it back to life, but whatever. Thank you. It disappeared somehow.
Just the shepherd's crook from like those old cartoons.
Yeah,
just yank it off
exactly.
screen.
Exactly. All right, you have gone. You will now go. Let's have you do a melee strike. That is a hit.
That is a hit. Makes it, takes it.
11 damage. Why?
Stop!
Why? Oh no!
Stop!
Oh no!
Please!
Yeah, I just have to keep going. That's a miss,
Oh, whew.
and that's a miss. All right,
Oh my gosh.
it's all you.
Also, I will say, I've been, I zoomed in here.
Yeah.
These lushies are almost kind of cute when you look
They
at them.
are kind of cute.
They are
They're
kind of
little
cute.
swamp
They'd be cuter if they
lesbians.
weren't killing me.
It's true. This is a pretty bad situation for you, I have to say.
Mm-hmm. There's a desperation in Rusty's actions now. Rusty, it's not the first time they've been on the verge of death when you've been around as long as Rusty has been. These things happen, but there is just the words repeating in Rusty's head. Survive. Go home.
Yeah.
Survive.
Yeah.
Go home. Rusty immediately does a double shot, trying to get both of them off.
Yeah.
Double shot targeting the northern one first and the southern one.
Okay. That's a hit.
21 to hit. We'll roll that damage.
Okay. 6 doesn't
And then-
take it down.
The southern one. Roll that hit.
Oh no!
Miss.
Oh no!
Oh,
Okay.
gotta think.
Yeah.
What other options are there?
Ah.
Sounds like a great option.
You do have hero points. I would
Hero points.
I would recommend at this point. I'm sorry, I should have told you about this before. You do have hero points, and I never.
I didn't know I
mentioned
had one.
it. You have 3.
I have 3 of them.
And I never mentioned it. Okay, you do on your sheet have hero points, which I never. Brought
I see
up.
them now.
Yeah. You may upgrade that miss to a hit, or
Oh, I am doing that.
or
Or
if I may, you can re-roll. So you can upgrade
I
to a
can
hit,
re-roll.
make it automatically be a hit, no problem. Or you can re-roll and maybe you get a critical hit, but if you roll a miss, then that's your hero point gone.
You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yes.
We're gonna re-roll.
Okay, all right. I'm going to spend 1 of your hero points.
I am looking for where that's actually consumed.
I got it
here.
for you.
You got it? Okay, okay.
You would just right-click it.
This is it.
Here we go. It's a hit. All right.
It's a hit.
All right. Good enough.
I'm gonna roll that damage.
10 damage. Nice. Okay. All right.
And they're both standing, huh?
Both standing. You do still have 2 hero points. So if you were to attack right now, even with the triple map, if you got a critical miss, you could use your hero point, at least upgrade that to a miss, or maybe even re-roll it.
I think we gotta go for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the northern one up there.
Okay.
Let me turn this off. Hold on a second.
That's a miss, but you could just roll that up into a hit if you want.
We're rolling it up with the hero point.
Okay, great. Okay, that leaves you with 1 hero point. That is a hit, so you can go ahead and roll that damage. Come on, good damage. 6. It's not gonna do it. It's so close, though. It's almost dead. All right, this is a bad situation for you to be in. They may take you down here. I think because I forgot to tell you about the hero points, if one of them takes you down, I think you can use that hero point to come back just one more little breath. So
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Just go for it. That is the Kasobake for some reason. Why are you still here? Can I just remove you? I just want you out of combat. I can't. Okay, whatever. Moving right along. This is the north one. It's gonna slash at you. Here we go. It will hit.
Hit. Give me that low roll. Give me that low roll. Come on.
No, that is exact.
Exact. Oh.
All right. As much as I hate to do it, go ahead and take that damage.
Uh-huh.
You're at 0. Okay.
0.
I'm gonna give you back a temporary hit point as a gift.
1.
1. You're at 1. You haven't used your hero point. You can still use your hero point to stay alive if it hits you again. Let's see how it does. With the map, that's a hit.
Oh, hit.
That's a hit. I'll roll the damage. I'll let you use that
Roll
hero
damage.
point and just ignore it.
Just, yep. We're using the hero point.
Okay.
Staying in.
Final attack.
Rusty is clinging to those thoughts. There's, sparks and whirring going on. Its grip is tightening on the bow it's holding desperately. And it's now just not even thinking. It's just repeating the words over and over and over. Survive, go home. Survive, go home. Survive, go home.
I don't think this can possibly hit unless it rolls a 20. I'm going to try. That's a critical miss.
Critical miss. Oh.
Since that's a critical miss, I'm going to say that it hits its buddy somehow. I don't know how that happened, but we're going to say that the buddy gets distracted. And I'm actually, as a gift, this hasn't been going well. I'm going to say that the next guy loses his turn. So
oh my gosh.
Give you a
okay.
shot here. I'm going to give you a shot. No hero points. Nothing left to save you. You're on 1 HP. Let's see how you do here.
Rusty scrambles.
Okay.
Let me get the actual movement here. Sure. Rusty scrambles as far as this tattered, chipped away body can take Rusty after years, hundreds, quite possibly thousands of years of doing what it's needed to do to preserve itself, preserve its home. It does recognize this could be the end, and those thoughts just drive this final desperate action. Lifts up the bow, notches those 2 arrows, looking its foes in the eyes, And Rusty just has a thought going through the head. Guide me, Mother. And launches the double shot
Amazing.
against both of the Leshies.
Perfect.
The northernmost one.
Okay.
Roll.
That's a critical hit.
Critical hit. 25 damage.
And it is dead.
The second Leshy. Before the arrow even hits the first Leshy, this arrow is already launched towards the second one.
It's a critical
hit. 16 damage. Oh.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Okay. Technically speaking, the Leshy should have been healed. When the first one died, the second one should have been healed. Ordinarily, but that was one action. And since that was one action, I feel like even though the heal burst went off when the first one died, because you fired so fast in succession, I think bam, bam, it doesn't get any healing and it just falls dead.
I could so imagine just like the slow motion shot of that pulsing magic from the first Leshy, like bursting out, and perhaps with Rusty's experience with just magic natural forces, when you live that long, you know how this you can just intuit some of these forces.
Yes.
And there's just that slow motion shot of that pulsing magic approaching the second Leshy. Oh, you can almost even see its little like beady eyes kind of like split, like microsecond arrow, magic, both approaching, and almost near instantaneously, the arrow just beating out that magic.
Oh, perfect. I love it.
Oh.
I love it. Amazing. I can't believe you pulled that off. The moment that they both die, a door appears right between them.
Oh my gosh. Whew. That was intense.
Yes, it was. It was. I did not think you were going to make it through that. They rolled really, really well. That was fabulous.
I think Rusty just collapses. Just... It's obviously not breathing, you know, there's no lungs or anything, no hyperventilation.
Right.
But there's just so much stress and strain and concentration that is just loosened.
Yeah.
And there's just this limp, barely flickering power robot on this grassy plain here.
Perfect.
Not sure how much time passes.
Yeah.
Time here could be totally different from where home is. Just not completely aware of that.
I think maybe...
Does this passed out count as a long rest, maybe?
It doesn't.
Question mark?
It doesn't. But I think...
No.
I think here in this moment, I think we're going to see like the camera pan above you and kind of rotate and just look down and just take in your heroism in this moment.
Some time passes, and
you,
while still clearly injured and incapacitated, Rusty pulls itself up using the longbow almost as a walking staff, just to support the crumbling limbs that's barely being kept together. With no sense of threat or danger immediately around, Rusty does opt to explore this area a bit, treading carefully just in case there's any other threats that might pop out of a tree or a bush or something, but not with the weapon ready, because right now just hobbling around, conserving strength.
Yeah.
Checking out the tree, this greenish lava acid pool here.
Yeah.
Just trying to ascertain if there's any connection to what his home would be.
Yeah, and you don't feel anything around here that feels like home. But I want to make an offer to you here. As you're going around and exploring these things, I think, ordinarily, I would say, if you want, you can take the risk of doing a medicine check. If you succeed at a medicine check, you would heal up a little bit. But I think, since you're an automaton, I think that you could maybe do a crafting check on yourself. Since you have a pretty good crafting. And I think if you succeed in the crafting check, we can treat that as a successful medicine check to heal up. However, there is a bit of risk there. If you were to fail, you would take 1d8 damage. If you critically failed. If you critically failed, you would take 1d8 damage, which would kill you. But
what's the just critical fail on that?
Only the critical fail. The fail is okay. You would just gain nothing. If you succeed, you would heal 2d8 damage. If you critically succeed, you would heal 4d8 damage. But a crit fail would take you out of the game, 100%. And so I think it's up to you what Rusty thinks in this moment. Do I want to take the chance to take my own fate in my hands, and maybe if this fails and it goes badly, I pull out my core and I just say, I'm tired and I'm gonna rest here. At least this place, maybe it has some semblance of feeling like home, even though it's definitely not home.
I think what Rusty does, there's the bigger tree in this clearing.
Yeah.
Rusty hobbles over, just a hand resting on the large trunk of this tree, and kind of just stumbles over, sits down, back to the tree. Again, if there are actual biological lungs, you just hear the just the slow, haggard breathing. But the automaton just instead, you get just this dull light from those just veins of light that are going through its once intricate and beautiful and now rusted and mossy and chipped away body. Just a faint yellow light now, one of caution and warning, but it's dull, very dull. Rusty's gonna do that check. Normally, there were parts, there were crystals and cores and other components back where home was that could be used to do this fix. So Rusty recognizes that this is going to be not a perfect repair. It's going to be shambled parts put together, hoping for the best. Rusty doesn't even know if it'll work, because Rusty's used to, set procedures. If the arm is injured, use this tool, use this equipment, change this and that. Rusty only has sticks and twigs and a dagger and a hope. A hope to go home, and whoever Mother was, the hope that Rusty can continue to live up to Mother's hope, to the Mother's dream for protecting that home. Rusty makes the crafting check.
Okay.
Mother, guide.
Okay. Breathe.
Guide my hands.
Breathe.
The shaking, trembling, clattering parts. That one.
What? There's no way.
Rusty has a core. A beautiful, glowing core. Maybe with that same rainbow sheen that was in that room, for that one room before. Rusty had never actually had to dig out so deep into its own parts to find what's wrong. But in desperation to try to fix everything, Rusty digs deeper and deeper, trying to find the most broken, crumbling thing, just to inspect it to see what could be done. And the last thing that Rusty sees with his proverbial eyes open, the servo's looking forward, is this crystalline rainbow core in this rusted, mossy, dirty, broken hand, one of the fingers already broken off, shaking and trembling. The vision fades away, goes to black. The arm falls down. This core just sits there, glowing, pulsing, these various colors. Pulse, pulse, softer, quieter. Nothing.
Wow. Wow. I just, I'm stunned. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely in shock. Um, I can't believe that happened.
Rusty's final thoughts with those. With the vision gone, just the core's mana that had seeped through those veins that are slowly dissipating through the body. You could see the like rivers, the lines emptying out from the limbs, from the eyes. Rusty's final thought in his head. I'm sorry, Mother.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry.
Wow.
Rusty will never know what happens next. But I think again, we pan up and we see Rusty against that tree from above. And for a long time, the camera just hangs there as we're watching you. And then, slowly, the camera pans back down to Rusty. And suddenly, we notice that as the camera is moving, something moves in front of the camera as the orb comes out from the sky, hovers for a long time around Rusty, here and there, taking little inspections, little micro inspections, and then moves right up next to Rusty, and some kind of scanner exits the orb towards Rusty, and everything goes black for us.
What?
And that's the end.
Oh my gosh. I'm heartbroken.
I am too.
Poor Rusty.
I am too. That last battle, I didn't think you were going to make it through. And then a nat 1. I cannot believe it.
So dramatic.
I mean, it's tragic, but it's so perfect. It's so perfect.
Wow.
Really tugged at my heartstrings so much. Rusty, wherever you are, we love you.
I'm never going to forget Rusty. Ever.
Amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you so much. This brought so much joy to me. This was just like amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. This was a wild journey, and I need to find out what happens here. Out of game, I'm absolutely going to watch every single other adventurer that has to suffer through what I did just to see if they can find the truth that I couldn't get to.
Yeah. I think you poked some serious holes in this screen that you got to see through. I'm really happy that you picked up on the little clues that I was putting down, because there was stuff there that you definitely picked up on, and I'm so thrilled about that. But wow. Really super happy. So thank you. I think this brings our adventure to the end, but do you have any last words for our audience?
In terms of just thoughts on this journey, I'm glad I could go through this this little improv experience. I had no preconceptions as to what Rusty was going to be like, and what if Rusty was going to be Rusty. I wasn't expecting to be so attached and concerned to just this guy that wanted to go home.
Oh, so sad.
Wow.
So tragic, but so perfect. Just chef's kiss,
Hmm.
no notes.
Hmm.
Amazing, amazing. You did so wonderfully. At some point, I don't know when, but at some point, we will do episodes where we revisit content creators again, and I definitely would
Ooh.
love to have you back on. Not with Rusty. You would have to roll up a new character. But I would love to have you back one day. Um,
Absolutely.
awesome, awesome. So last chance to highlight yourself a little bit. Do you want to tell us about what you have going on in the future?
Well, I only just started streaming
Yeah.
just about like a year or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to get into it. I was able to a little bit over last summer really start my VTuber journey in earnest. But life gets in the way, things happen, and
Indeed.
last fall and this winter I've been real busy. But thankfully, my schedule should be opening
That's
up.
good.
I like to stream on Twitch. I'm going to be doing a variety of things, and I think with how my work schedule is shaping up, and maybe with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, should have some real exciting stuff going on.
Yes.
I have other collabs with other creators actually in the works, and if you want
Wonderful.
to find out about those, feel free to give me a follow on Twitch or on Blue Sky. I post odds and ends about when I'm going to stream and just, fun little tidbits and share things that I like. I would love to connect with you, chat about Pathfinder, chat about this experience, chat about how much we both love Puppy-Sensei's Japanese lessons.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that we did this. I'm so glad that I got to have you on here,
Hmm.
and I just feel really, really, really blessed that you came here. Just really wonderful. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And everybody at home, stay tuned because who knows where we're going next. It's going to be a definite wild ride. We're going to have a great time. So, everybody, I will see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.